So it's thought by some that maybe I'm taking this whole data sovereignty, avoid the subscription model a little bit too far. I don't think so. Because here's the thing. Yes, this is a lot. Okay. I mean, right here in front of me, for example, is a data center card, which is the Radeon Pro VE, which is in fact actually two 12 GB cards in one. Now I've actually had this thing up and running. I even managed to snip out the two little, I guess you call it the PCIe slot cover. And if you look closely, it'll take a DisplayPort. I don't think a lot of people knew that. So some of these data center cards have little hidden secrets buried within them. And then over here too is another one of them. And this is even says it pulled right out of a server. The NVIDIA K80, and likewise I actually had to fit this up. I did that on a former video. I've got three of the P100s, which are each 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Now that doesn't sound like too fascinating. Like why are the data center majors using something equivalent to something we'd get over the counter? Well, here's the thing: we're not going to be able to get those things over the counter. And these data center cards have this HBM2 bandwidth. It's a lot more. It allows a lot more gigabytes per second than PCIe, the standard. So I wanted to show you real quick too. Like right here, I've got a P100 in the bottom running compute with the 2080. As a matter of fact, at top, Titan edition. Over here, I've got a 3080. I'm going to try to configure that up with. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to try the K80 in here. And I guess the reason I'm using some of these more classic cards is because they happen to mesh or kind of jive better with the drivers. Like the GTX, for example, this is a GTX 1080. And when I run this one, the drivers are already relatively, outdated, and they're in the legacy stage. And so if I put this, say, next to this M10 here, there's not quite so much a generational gap as there would be, say, with a newer 5080 trying to run the same thing. So if you have like old Pascal or Maxwell or some of the architectures from the mid 2010s or even before, you can still get use out of these cards because they were designed at the time, and that never changed, to produce a whole lot of compute, a whole lot of bandwidth. And a few other little tricks that I've done is pulled pretty much gutted out an old Dell desktop, pulled the fans out of it, and mounted the fans to the back here, so that way I can get good airflow running through that P100. Because again, these are not designed to be gamers or desktop graphics cards. These are designed to work in server conditions, which are like dusty hallways with giant fans blasting at 100 decibels. So trying to mirror that as much as I can without going crazy. And another thing I've been pushing too is trying to secure as much reasonably RAM as possible. So a few things I've held on to was this Nemix RAM, which actually came out of my Threadripper system. I ended up selling half of it and keeping the other half so I could keep running the system. Then I just went ahead and said, hell, I'll run the UDIM in there and keep this RDIM possibly to run for sale, or actually build a full-on server build. And so that's something I'm contemplating right now, is to take basically the frame of whatever tower case chassis that I have and just kind of build an open air data center server, just kind of test all these and get them going and see if I can't get some life out of, I don't know, with this fella here, this little P400, or if nothing else, give something to do to this ATEC RAM. But again, I don't think it's as crazy as it might seem, because the objective here is to not get looped into that. I don't think you'll get out of it either, looped into the whole subscription model and start renting your GPU space by the hour, because that's a path we've gone down in a lot of things, and it'd be a real shame if we didn't own our systems anymore. So I appreciate you tuning in, and please drop a comment, share your feedback, like, subscribe. It helps out a great bit. And I'll come back with a little bit more as this journey plugs along. Thanks for tuning.